And it is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. We have a significant tornado outbreak today to talk about, and then again tomorrow. And then we're going to have somewhat of a pattern change after that. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about all of that. So, let's get into it. And we have this over here tornado outbreak in this area. So Chicago, you're in that area. Over here in these areas, Springfield, and so Lafayette, those Fort Wayne, those areas are going to be experiencing a pretty bad and intense tornado outbreak today. So let's get in. Let's show you the. Let's first start off by showing you the tornado threat. So here is the tornado threat. If you haven't heard yet, there has been a change to the SPC outlook. So now there's three intensities. There's intensity 1, which is this one here. Anybody in these areas need to be prepared for strong tornadoes. You probably won't see a tornado in this green area, but the potential is high for strong tornadoes if you end up seeing a tornado. The environment is favorable. Over here, we have a hashed risk, and the chance is a little bit higher. So in these brown areas, you have a higher potential for tornadoes, and you have the potential for strong tornadoes, EF2 or larger. And then we have this risk. This is the biggest risk in this double hashed area where there's just lines. Anybody in these areas have an even higher chance for tornadoes, and the chance is high to where you have the potential to see EF3 or higher tornadoes, and it's heightened for that. And then over here, we have these guys in these areas, and this is highlighted also for the potential for strong tornadoes greater than EF2, and this is Dallas. And then everybody in this other risk, Columbus, Ohio, you could see some tornado risk there, and everybody in between in the green risk needs to be prepared for probably not seeing much tornadoes, but the potential, if you do see a tornado, it has the potential to be greater than EF2. It's a little confusing, but eventually you'll get the gist of it. And there is one more level, but I won't get into that today because we don't have that we don't have that for today. We might get upgraded somewhere in here, but that's called that's like the triple hashed where they're crossing each other, and that is a significant historic tornado outbreak. But today it is a really significant tornado outbreak, so we're just going to talk about that, and there is a chance that we get upgraded to a moderate risk. So then if we look at the wind threat for today, here is the wind threat. We have this red area for damaging winds, and it looks like we could see winds greater than 75 miles an hour, so we could see destructive winds. Anybody in this hashed risks needs to be prepared for that. Oklahoma City, places like that need to be prepared, and greatest in this red risk. And then if we go to the hail probability, it has a double hash risk too, and that has the potential for really intense hail, which means we could have giant sized hail. And this is the large for the hail. You can't go any higher for the hashed risk. So there's hashed, then there's the double hashed, and you don't have a triple hashed. And then if we go back to the wind threat, over here doesn't have as much of a significant wind threat. There is still the potential for some strong winds here and there, and I would be prepared for strong winds, but it's not as significant as down here. And if we go back down to the hail threat, these areas do have the potential for large hail. I'll show you why these areas I think have the potential for large hail later. So let's show you what that would look like on the future radar. So this is the HRRR model. We're going to first look at this area here. So right now in the next few hours, in the next 6 hours, it's going to be quiet, but then we start to have these cells pop out. This HRRR model, to be honest with you, isn't showing anything past here. So if I show you the tornado risk, it's not really showing any potential past this risk, and so this is just state triple R. Others it could pop up earlier, and that's why we have this 5% chance risk because it could pop up earlier, and then in that case, these people would be under the gun for tornadoes. But right now, it looks like these people over here have the main risk. This small area has the risk for strong, long track tornadoes. These cells are monsters, so they really you need to be concerned for those. Then later on, we have the second line of cells. So there's kind of a first cell. This really tells me that this really shows that this is going to be a significant tornado because they're just kind of on their own tornado outbreak. I think so. Anybody in these areas need to be repaired. They're they're not together, which is concerning. And then if we go a little farther, you can see these cells start coming over, and that's gonna be more of an embedded tornado threat. You still have the potential for tornadoes. It's not gonna be as long track, and this will be when we have the damaging wind threat there, and that's the farthest the model goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you the areas for the central United States over here. So really, the main disadvantage over here, we have really good stability and a lot of stuff there. The reason why we're mainly not seeing much of a threat here is because we don't have enough organized precipitation. It's really scattered, but so that's why this area, middle area, isn't really that concerning for today. But then maybe tomorrow, as we get into this area, I'll talk about that later, including Columbus. I'm going to talk about that later. We're going to have another severe weather potential. Maybe not significant, but it's still going to be pretty concerning. So over here, this is the large hail threat. We do also have a tornado threat, but this is the large hail threat. As we get into tonight, we have these cells here, and these cells are actually pretty significant too for large hail, and we could see some tornadoes. I bet there's gonna be at least a few tornadoes in this red hashed area. So please be prepared there. We're gonna see a damaging wind threat and a large hail threat, a significant large hail threat. So today is going to be a big mess, and it's going to be pretty significant. So I'm going to be watching this. I think anybody in these areas for sure need to be prepared for sure. So if you know anybody in here, please let them know because that's a significant event. Just the reason why I spent so much time talking about it today is because this is a very significant event that people need to know everything about it. And then if we go to the next day, this is where I think Columbus, you're right on the edge of being in a tornado outbreak because we have a slight risk already issued for tomorrow, and that's going to be on Thursday. So I think that's going to be on Wednesday actually. I think that you're in the hot spot. If we do see one thing I forgot to say for the last day, if we do see any precipitation, including our area or Columbus, Ohio, during the severe weather outbreak over here, it has the potential to produce tornadoes. So please be alert for that. But this is a different model, and it's a little less aggressive on things. That's normal for it. But I'm just going to show you the general. Don't look at how mean these cells are. I'm just showing you generally what time or around when they're coming. So it's going to be tomorrow early. I think it's going to be there's going to be some precipitation earlier in the morning, and that precipitation actually does have the potential to it's has a little bit more cape involved with it. And so if some of those storms can get strong and turn into thunderstorms, they do have the potential to become severe. So tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. in our area to 4 p.m. That's it for our area. You need to be prepared, but including Columbus, look at this line. In Columbus, this would be around 4 p.m. This is going to be around 4 p.m. for Columbus. This is when the most severe line comes in. And if we can have any of these tornadoes, or there might be some embedded tornadoes, the condition is favorable for your area by this time. So we do have the potential to have some stronger tornadoes in your area. We actually do have a tornado probability for that. It's right in the slight risk, or you're right in the hashed risk, but you're not in the 5% chance. But still, This is over here is in the 5% chance. So this is a little bit concerning for your area in Columbus. I would be prepared around 4, but as early as 7, you could end up seeing some severe weather. Our area, it's a little more scattered, and it doesn't look. This is just the NAM model or one of the other models like that, and this is a little more scattered. But again, this model is usually less aggressive on it. Down here, this is another sweet spot here for severe weather. So people down here need to be prepared. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. We'll see what ends up happening. We're not in any hash risks in our area, but we could get upgraded. I would expect somewhere in this area to get upgraded to a enhanced risk or maybe a moderate risk. So please be prepared in those areas tomorrow. And we could get upgraded to a double hashed risk, which would be the next level up from a hashed risk. So we'll be prepared for that. And then it exits the region, and then after that, that's when our lull starts to come in. And I'm going to talk about that next. So I'll just show you this supercell composite and show you it day by day. So you can see this is our severe weather outbreak tomorrow and today. And then we go to we go farther out, and you just see we're not seeing much activity, maybe here and there. So don't rule out severe weather for your area. You still need to be on the lookout at least for severe weather, but really it's not going to be that much severe weather. But then as we get into later March, then that's when the severe weather picks up again, and that's when we need to be prepared. But again, any severe weather can pop up at any time, so I don't want to say there's no chance of severe weather for these times. But for now, we're just going to keep an eye on this severe weather outbreak. And we're going to see warm temperatures. We're going to see a little bit cooler temperatures. If you look at this, it gets cool for just a brief period, but then it warms up again. And then we might have some more cold fronts again, which would cause us to get below freezing. But then it'll warm up again, and this is looking really warm here. So this is later March, and then that's when the next severe weather threat would come in again. And then the same thing over, another cold front, and then it would recycle in that for a while. One more thing I wanted to point out is this is on the Ensemble models, and it's showing something interesting. Right around Sunday, March 17th, it's indicating that there is a snow system that comes in and brings actually a decent amount of snow to Columbus, Ohio, and then our area. But what's weird about this is this is the blend of models. Like, this is a bunch, 20 different models mixed together, and it's averaging out. And the fact that this is showing something like this early means that we might want to be on the lookout for some snow. I doubt it'll actually happen, but we still just this model is showing it, so we might want to keep an eye on that. And that is all the weather talk I have for you today. Please subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on. That way you don't miss out on any new videos. I would recommend you checking out my website, forecastmat.com, and you get a good selection of stuff about the weather. You can sign up and then get customized weather, like this bar up top. You can click on it, and then you'll instantly see an article for your area. And then we have my videos there, so you can watch my videos from this website. You can look at the live streams on it. You can watch those from my website. You can look at the schedule. It's still loading. Then you have the community map. You see the community map, and you have a lot of outlooks here. You have the radar for your area, the live radar. You can go to excessive rainfall outlooks. You have those too. And there's a lot of other good stuff there. And weather summaries. We also have weather summaries. And I put out those here and there if it's not enough for me to put out a video, but if it's enough for me to post this. So I posted this yesterday, so you can look at the latest weather summaries there too. So I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.